My son didn't move. His eyes never shifted from his cup. His little chest was still, as if he was holding his breath. I watched, waiting for it to rise and fall, as I did every night when he fell asleep. Nothing. I panicked. Welcome to Nosleep Reviews. I'm your host, Rainwalker, and today I'll be reviewing A Very Square Day by Gloomsocks. Upon my first reading, I found the story rather confusing. It starts off rather mundane. Our protagonist is a mother providing cereal and milk for her 5-year-old son. Like many young children, he has some eating habits that some may consider to be rather unusual. In this case, he enjoys eating dry cereal with a glass of milk on the side. After reading that, though, I do have to say that I now find myself in the mood to try the same thing. The main conflict in the story occurs very suddenly. I found myself a bit thrown off and confused. Upon my second reading, however, I've come to appreciate the title. Considering the situation, it really makes perfect sense. I've seen plenty of stories on this specific concept conveyed, though I'm not sure I've come across any that play out quite like this. The story ends up resolved just as mysteriously as the conflict began. Imagine spending your day unable to interact with anyone or leave your own home. Imagine you're unable to move anything around except your own body. Our protagonist's reaction to the situation early on is perfectly reasonable. I do find it a little surprising, though, how calm she becomes, as the situation progresses. It's perhaps not the most eventful story that I've read, although at 1,651 words, it's slightly shorter than what I've come across so far. As I stated earlier, I was a bit caught off guard during my first reading. The transition was a bit more sudden than my liking. It's one of those stories that has some details that are very easy to miss without reading it a second time. The story's creepiness, however, is different from what I've normally seen posted on Nosleep. It's more of a mystery than a horror story. There are no monsters, no killers, no ghosts. I might even say this is a very square story. I'm not sure that even counts as a joke. But, I tried. If you prefer stories that are simply weird, rather than outright scary in the usual sense, then A Very Square Day might be the right story for you. I would like to thank Gloomsocks for giving me permission to review A Very Square Day. A link to the story and the author's Reddit page will be provided in the description. If you're interested in hearing more reviews, please consider liking this video, subscribing, and leaving a comment. I also work to upload a new review every other day at noon Eastern Standard Time, so be sure to check back several times per week. I also narrate my own stories, which are uploaded here on my channel. My two main narrations are, the crash wasn't the scariest part of the accident, and my coworker has been turning me into a monster. Also coming up will be a dramatic narration of my own most popular no-sleep story, I inherited a mansion, but I want nothing to do with it. I hope you will check out my other content and stick around for my upcoming reviews and narrations. My next review will be My Parents Sold Me When I Was 7 by Polonium Poisoning. I'm your host, Rainwalker, now returning to the shadows.